Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Monsters Unleashed. Tonight we've got Tracy Jones coming in here. Tracy's a paranormal witch, and she's got a lot to share tonight. And we have Rob Effler. Effler's the co-founder of North Carolina Investigates. Of course, everyone should be familiar with Trisha Collins. Rob there has got a copy of my book, my my new book there, Echoes in the Hollers, that we've got on Amazon. Got a few books there going. Y'all can check them out. But tonight last week I'll go back to last week. We visited with Trisha Collins and what she had going on there in Land Between the Lakes, and I wanted to get Tracy on the show. Wasn't able to get her. She had other obligations, but I'd like to touch a little bit on that before we get into what Tracy's got going on tonight. So, Trisha, if you could just give her a brief story about what happened there last week, maybe she's got some insights for you.
Well, me and my family took a trip to LBL, and I'm just going to take it straight to the experience that I had. Um, we were in the north side of, I'm going to call it an island because it looks like an island to me, at a cemetery called Mount Pleasant Cemetery. It didn't feel right being there. I thought I saw something moving through the woods, and I was recording. I cut it off, and my daughter said, "Hey, Mom, I found something interesting. Come check this out." So I go to follow her. I get halfway into the graveyard, and something like blew on my ear. My ear, like actual name is Patricia, and whatever this was, like accented the P. Didn't say my full name. It just went very hard, very aggressive in my ear. My ear was severely stopped up. It actually didn't like unclog until like 2 days ago. Um, I couldn't hear all day. I didn't feel right. I was nauseous. I was shaky all day. When it happened, I ran to my husband, and I'm still my voice is shaking because this is so terrifying for me.
Okay.
I ran to my husband and I was like, "Did something happen to you? Did you hear that?" And he's like, "No." And I, mimicked what it did to me to him, and he was just like, dumbfounded. So we all ran to get to the car. I told my daughter, "Run as fast as you can, jump in the Jeep." And I ended up passing her. And I'm a big girl. I don't run that fast. She's like 98 pounds, 5'2". And whatever did this made everything just seem louder. Footsteps louder. Everything was louder to me. And when this happened, there was no wind blowing. There wasn't any noises, no frogs, no squirrels moving, nothing. And when my daughter come up behind me getting the Jeep, it sounded like she was a grown man, like 250 pounds stepping on it. And she stepped on a twig and it sounded like she stepped on a log and it snapped in half. It scared me. So I screamed, which made her scream, scared her, and we just hauled tail out of there. I mean, as fast as we could. I didn't care if we got a ticket. I was begging to go home right now and get there as quickly as possible. This also caused my ear to be very red, and my face was red. And a couple of days later, I noticed I felt something sore. So I went in the mirror and I had my husband look, and there was a cut on the inside of my ear. And I didn't discover that for like 3, maybe 4 days later.
Okay.
My skin, I don't ever itch my ears at all. They're never itchy. So I don't know where that came from. But not only that, after it happened on our way home, it's about an hour drive from our house coming from the north end to Fort Campbell. I ended up getting into it with my daughter, and I'm a very calm, laid back person. I'm very quiet. unless like I have to speak my mind. I don't snap easily, but I was so mad. Like there was a level of anger that I have never experienced my entire life. And it wasn't just towards my daughter, it was towards my husband, it was towards my son. I was just lashing out at people and I was just so mad. Like I just wanted to like snap something. I was that mad for no
Mhm.
reason.
Okay.
Um it I was in pain for days after that. I couldn't hear anything. It wasn't until like 2 days ago that my ear, I was able to actually fully hear out of my ear. And I was going to go to the doctor and see if my eardrum had been busted. But I didn't because insurance is kind of sucky. That's a TRICARE for you. Um, and now we are having a lot of weird behavior problems with my son. And he's a kid. He has his typical moments where they act up. But no, this is like aggression towards me.
Yeah.
And he's always like very loving towards me. He he never disrespects me at all.
Mhm.
He's a good kid. But the past 3 or 4 days, he's been something different. Like
Okay.
it's like something negative is just going around him. He won't talk. He goes
Believe
to
it or not,
therapy.
this all makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, he
Go
won't
ahead.
tell his therapist anything.
Okay.
Um, and then like in 1 minute he'll be calm, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next minute it's like something dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty terrifying. And I've also noticed that like my dogs have been very skittish of me. And you can ask Mike, my dogs are up my butt 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
They're always loving on me. My youngest shepherd, his name is Negan. He was with us at that cemetery. He is so skittish of me now,
Okay.
and he's never been,
Okay.
never. Um, it's been it's been really weird because I'm just now feeling normal again, but for the first few days, I didn't feel like myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like myself at all,
Okay.
and I don't know if whatever was making me feel that way is what's making my son feel that way.
Did you notice when you were not yourself that he was okay? And then when you were okay, he was not himself? Or did it happen at the same time?
No, when I wasn't okay, he was okay.
Okay.
And then when I became, okay, he started
Okay.
acting
We
out.
can fix this.
Um
It can be fixed.
yeah, it's very weird and it's very scary and I'm a believer in stuff like this. Um I like spooky spirit stuff and all that, but I have never been like physically
Hmm.
affected by something
Well,
ever.
as you're talking, I saw like a billboard that said trauma 3 times. Three, you've had major trauma in your life at least 3 times.
Oh, that's bone chilling. Yes, I have experienced a lot of trauma. Um,
Burn on the face and the arm I'm seeing.
yes, yes,
Okay. And did you have a transplant?
I did. I had a bone marrow transplant.
Okay. And that was for a cancer like lymphoma or whatever. I
Yes,
can't. Okay.
yes.
Nope.
Stage three
Those,
B Hodgkin's lymphoma.
but you've been in remission for quite some time. You will stay in remission, which is good. But having those three in my world is a very significant number. It's a very sacred number. Everything happens in threes. You've had three traumas in your life, and that's opened you up to the spirit world. You're more attractive to them, which is why I don't know if you've noticed over the course of the years, you could sense things easier as you got older.
Yeah, and it's made me question that too, because I've noticed
Mhm.
that too, because it has. It's made me really question that.
Yeah. Well, that's because with each trauma, you got a little stronger spiritually. And not, I don't know if you grew up with it or not, if you had stuff when you were a kid, but it was just little stuff. But definitely that those three occurrences of trauma just made you so attractive to them. I think what happened at the graveyard is that you got an attachment because if you weren't feeling yourself and you were saying things that you normally weren't, it wasn't you, it was an attachment. And the reason I asked if it goes back and forth is because that attachment is going back and forth. So you both need a cleansing,
Okay.
and then you'll be okay.
I mean, is this like
And
any way to tell like if this is a good attachment or if this is something we really
It's
shouldn't
not a
mess with?
demon.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay.
not. I don't see a demon. I don't. Don't worry. Whoo! She gets. No,
Woo!
it's just
Yes.
something ignorant. Sometimes people say that when you cross, if you are ignorant in life, you'll be wonderful in death. No, no, you are basically who you are. So while I don't see any of this as being demonic, those are so far and few between. There are a lot of assholes out there, hon, that just like playing, and messing things up, and that's how they get their kicks. But if you have a church that you go to or something like that, I would go and ask for a blessing for you and or cleansing, or however, whatever denomination you are, whatever they do. If you're not comfortable with that, you can visit a metaphysical store and ask them to give you some names of like either shamans or people who remove attachments. But you're going to be okay. You're going to be absolutely fine. I would definitely get some Palo Santo wood in your house. That is used in a lot of different religions for purity, for purifying. Open the windows in all the rooms, like just one window per room, okay?
Okay.
And as you're going through, whatever prayer that you like, that maybe you grew up with, you could say that. Um, Also, I would say, like, just talk to it. Whatever's here, you've been affecting me and my son. You have to leave. Go through each room, and you're opening the windows to let the ick escape. But I definitely need you to be cleansed, both you and your son. He probably has been confused as to why he's been acting like this.
Yeah, that makes sense you said that too, because he has. Because when you ask him, hey, like, what's going on? Why are you acting like this?
He
It's
doesn't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know. Now, is this something when I go back on this investigation, should I worry about something more not so
No, no.
friendly?
When you go on your investigation beforehand, you give yourself a prayer of protection, like I said, whatever denomination, or just say quite literally, I'm going to go and this is what I'm going to do. Nothing can attach to me, nothing can come home with me. Take some Palo Santo wood. When you come out, just light it and take it through you and say, anything that's here needs to stay here. You do not have the power to attach to me. You have to just take control.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, that's good. I don't think I shared it on the channel yet, but Trisha and I, we plan on going into the LBL the first week of October, and we're going to be there for the harvest moon. We plan on doing a night investigation on the harvest moon. There's a lot of things that happen on full moons, so we plan on being there. But I have full intentions of having someone to bless our trip and
Mhm.
give us some
Yeah.
prayer cloths and stuff like that because we're not going in unprepared. So um,
Um, One of your uh I don't want to make you cry or anything. One of your protectors isn't it's a baby that you lost. She's with you. I'm all the time. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. I'm so sorry.
No, no, thank you.
You're welcome.
and
Ah,
so Trisha, I haven't talked to Tracy about any of
Mm.
the circumstances.
Yeah, this is the first I've met you. I'm just telling you what I've been hearing during the course of the day and what I'm hearing in my mind now. So,
that is
LDS.
that is
What
that's
LBL better be a good place, Randy, because we're making a movie down there
Oh, well, you're in for a treat when you go to there. Let me tell you, you are in
on
for a
Halloween
treat.
too, and I'm a witch, so
Oh,
my
Yeah,
yeah.
session's gonna be fun. Yeah,
yeah.
no,
You know,
I
she
would
found
tell.
footprints there too.
I did. I
Okay,
found footprints there, several footprints, and actually, I want to say this too. I was showing some pictures that I took of a tree that's been clawed at and scratched out at that cemetery I was just talking about. And a buddy of mine goes, "Hey, Trish, like, did you not notice that blood on the tree?" And I was like, "There ain't no blood on this tree. What are you talking about? I would have saw it. I was there." So I took the picture and I blew it up. There is dried blood, and you can see the clot on that tree in that cemetery.
okay, ew.
And that just blew my mind. And it's right where this tree has been like scratched all to hell. I
Do you, is it possible people are doing rituals down there?
I would believe it. There is some history of cults in that area. Um, I do not know
That
the
would,
name, but
yeah, that would help
yes,
explain why you got something ignorant and attached to you.
yes. Well, I was just thinking it's a military cemetery, and some of these soldiers they like to
Yeah,
be.
well, it could be that too.
Yeah,
It could be that too.
I mean that's just what I was guessing when you said that, but yeah, there could be.
Either one's possible. I can't be
Yeah,
100% certain either way. So,
yeah.
who's Dee Dee?
Dee
Used to call
Dee.
him Dee Dee or her Dee Dee. The dog?
Oh my goodness, yes, it was my family dog with my mom, my sister. We were very close to her. She just passed away a few months ago. She was a Siberian Husky. Um,
She's beside you. I see her beside you. And when you go places, she'll go with you.
wow, I got chills.
Well, hopefully good chills. This is all good stuff. It's
Yes,
nothing
it
bad,
is.
nothing that can't be fixed.
These are good
You
people.
suffer with PTSD because of all of these things. So that it hit you harder when spirit made contact with you. And they probably went out to reach you, and that's why you got the little cut in the ear. Um, and that in and of itself doesn't mean that they were trying to harm you. They're just trying to grab on to, like get your attention. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes that's the only way that they can do it. But um, just please be comfortable knowing it wasn't a demon. It's just something
Okay.
ignorant. What that is, I don't know. But you both need a blessing, and I would Diva.
Yes, their name was Diva.
Oh, okay, okay. All I heard was Dee Dee. Um,
My kids used to call her Dee Dee because they couldn't say Diva when they were little.
mhm.
But her name was Diva. Dee Dee just stuck because of the babies.
Okay. One health thing I would say to you is drink more pineapple juice and more water because of the kidney stone.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not all.
okay. I have been through the ringer with some kidney stones.
Oh, yeah. I call myself the Pez dispenser because Lord knows how many. The first time I was in the emergency room, not knowing what it was, I had like six on one side and eight on the other side. And they're like, "How long have you had kidney stones?" I got what? I didn't
Yeah.
know because I got
Yeah,
fibromyalgia. So I just thought the back pain was that. So,
I
Oh,
have
they
them
are a
too.
nightmare.
I
yeah.
have them too. I think she got them from me. The kidney stones. Yeah, I get them. I
Yeah.
get them quite
Yeah, my
often.
son got migraines from me, lucky man.
Uh,
So you gave your daughter kidney stones. Yeah, lots of water, lots of lemon, pure, like just put some lemon in your water,
Yeah.
pineapple, anything that's citrus, it'll help bust them up. And what could actually, I think, be very beneficial for you with the PTSD and getting acclimated to all this stuff, is to get yourself some, oh God, no, I can't think of the names. They're tuning forks. I have a set. And believe it or not, it my husband loves them. He has back pain, so I just on there. You can get them on Amazon. They don't have to be anything fancy. But I would start doing that like 3 times a week on like your forehead, your heart, like your chakras. So just it doesn't have to be the exact spot, and always on the back where the kidneys are to keep them nice and clean. It feels amazing, and it's the sound of it. Mine has two things. One that you bang and it vibrates. That's the one that I put on, and the other one you hear the frequency. So I would strongly say, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but they're wonderful. They're not going to harm you. They're only going to help you. So
Yeah, I've
that
heard that.
could, yeah, very much help you with the PTSD too.
Yeah. So Tracy, you've kind of like blew Trisha's mind tonight, and I'm sure everyone that's watching in the chats and everything. Tell us where people can see you on a weekly basis.
Weekly basis. You can see me 24/7, 365 on Channel 12 TV network. I host a talk show called Paranormal White Witch. And if you want to subscribe to it, it's Channel 12 TV Network.nowcast.cc for only $9.99 a month. Not a penny more, not a penny less.
And I'll put the link in the YouTube also. So,
Thank you. I
everybody can
appreciate that.
find
I appreciate that.
it. Yeah, I spoke to you earlier today. You sent me a text message, and you was telling me that you had some stuff going on at your house today and
Oh, yeah.
everything that was quite interesting. It kind of piqued my interest and everything because I have things like that go off quite often at my home. So
Okay.
yeah, if you could tell us a little bit about what you had going on, I'm sure everybody'd want to hear.
Um, we have a doorbell that's been disconnected forever and a day, and it's gone off on two or three different occasions. One was when my favorite cousin passed away. It was the day after his funeral. And another time, I was just going through some bad stuff, like bad fibro, bad migraines. And I was like, Mom, just help me out. Send me a sign. And the doorbell went off. And then today. And I saw the husky in my house a couple of times today. I just heard now the Dee Dee, whatever, I guess that was her nickname. Um, there's always something happening here. I mean, we have pets that have passed. In fact, my husband said that his late cat Merlin, he says he's walking around the house causing issues again. He'll see him out of the corner of his. And I got 8 cats, so that explains too why they've been acting up. But I see his parents here all the time. I see my parents. So to me, it's just normal. I've always seen them. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe all that was going on today was a sign that
Hmm.
it was a reminder to you that you needed to be here tonight to give Trisha her message.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what was going on
yeah,
and
could
everything.
be.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a,
Rob was telling us right before the show started when we were in the green room that he's had some unusual things going on at his house outside that he just like got him bumfuzzled. So, Rob, you mind sharing that?
Well, sure. Usually, thing every now and then, I do have a few odd and unusual things happen here. It's not really much paranormal. It's kind of cryptid. I do have a tribe of Bigfoot that does live on my property. I didn't discover them until about 2 years ago. Uh, I'm not going to go into that because it's a pretty lengthy story. But to make a long story short, I usually keep my outside cats. They take care of all my mice problem and everything else. I keep I think it's about a 30-gallon stainless steel trash can. I keep their cat food in that. And it takes quite a bit, to take the lid off because when you put the lid on, it sort of like vacuum locks it on there. Well, for the past 2 days, I found their trash can full of cat food turned over just outside of my carport. Now, to give you a brief rundown on everybody in the audience, probably be sitting there going, "Oh, that's a possum. That's a raccoon. It could be some of the cats. It could be my pit bulldog Laura that runs it. No, this has to be physically picked up to be moved. Because where I park my truck at, because I've not got everything straightened out because my daddy passed away back in February of this year, and I'm still trying to get some of his stuff out and get split with my sister. And my stepmama, she's still got some more stuff in here, bless her heart. When I first moved in here, it sort of looked like a antique shop and a museum puked. I mean, she had everything under God's green heaven in here. So we're still in the process of moving and switching and so forth. But I've got, well, when you pull into the carport, sitting in front of it is my table saw. Well, right in behind my table saw, I've got I think it's a 12.5 cubic feet chest freezer, which I've not taken out of the box yet. I've still got it boxed up because I haven't figured out, where in the house or out on the porch I'm going to put it. And dead in behind that is where I keep those two trash cans for the cat food and whatnot. Now, one of them is completely empty right now, and the other one is about a little over half full. And there's a little old walkway to get back in there to it because the way everything, was just straightened out between what my stuff and what Daddy left behind. You have to physically pick his trash can up and carry it, because if you don't, you're going to have to move everything in order to get it out there in front of the truck and just turn it over. So whatever's doing it has to have hands, because you know good and well a raccoon is not going to pick that size of a trash can up. It's probably about a 30-gallon trash can. The dog's not going to do it. Laura's stout, but she's not big enough to pick the whole confounded thing up, because she would turn it over right where she's at. Laura's my pit bulldog. And the cat's definitely is not going to gang up in a circus formation and pick it up and move it. So the whole thing's gravel, and after where I park the truck, I can't get no footprints of no kind because there's too much gravel. Even I don't even leave a footprint going back and forth to the truck. So I don't know if the Bigfoot that I physically saw here back about 2 years ago, he wasn't very big. He is more or less what you call a juvenile. So at that time, I nicknamed him Junior. I don't know if Junior has snuck in and he's just, being a cut up and everything, just doing it for meanness, raiding the cat food, or if something else has moved in, dog man wise or whatever. Because when this happens, I've got 3 livestock guardian dogs down there guarding my goats, and they're about 80 yards down the hill. They don't make a sound when I'm finding this in the morning. They've not made a sound all night. I mean, I can lay right there at my bedroom window and hear every move Jethro, Hercules, and Charlie makes. They don't make a sound. Now, if something other comes in the yard, Laura will pitch a fit. She hadn't made a sound. So I don't know whether it's Junior or something else. So I guess I'm gonna have to put me a camera up at the backside of the carport shed, which I've got plans on doing that tomorrow. I'm gonna install some more cameras, and then I've got about 2 or 3 360 cameras I'm gonna place up at the edge of the wood line, and we're gonna see if we can catch something other, or if they have the ability, which I think they do, to see that IR trigger light that's on a game camera. If they see that, that may deter them from getting into the cat food. It would tickle me to death if I could get a clear-cut picture on my cameras. That way nobody can't say, well, that's AI, that's been Photoshopped, Adobe Express, or, whatever programs is out there. People can look at that and go, that's not been tampered with.
Right. All right. I wondered about those, the IR, the infrared lights and stuff like that, because when we make our trip there into the LBL, we're going to do our night investigation, and I have night vision equipment, a camcorder, and a pair of NVGs and stuff like that. So we went out last night and tested them. My son actually found some dog poop in the yard. He had that on video. He's like, is that dog poop? He's like, oh, he's like, let me just go around this. And it was hilarious. I saved it. I'm going to use it as a clip on something. But
Well, don't be surprised when you go to the LBL and you got your camera set up. Let's just say, just for the chits and giggles of it, don't be surprised when you go back the next day and you check them. That little IR sensor that's in the center of them, don't be surprised if it's not been punched out. Now, Tim Dills, that's the one of the members of NCI, North Carolina Investigates, out there in his area, out there in Franklin. He's had 2 or 3 of them. The camera's not been destroyed, other than that little center spot. It looks like something others took its fingernail and said, blink, and poked it out. Other than that, the camera's not been, hasn't been monkeyed with other than that. So if that happens to you, don't stand there and go, well, I wonder what idiot done this. Well, the idiot is whatever cryptid creature snuck up there and decided to I don't want this in my area, and it says zap and deactivates it. Because your camera won't work after it does that.
That's funny to say that. I actually had a camera up in West Virginia. My brother has 400 acres up in there, leased property, and he's got 40 acres of his own, and he's got like 400, little over 400 of leased. And I was hunting up on the backside of this one area, and I had game camera up there, and I actually had my IR light in my camera knocked out. And I thought it was a bear just reached up there and chewed on it or something. And it didn't take it off the tree. It's just it was knocked out too. Ruined a really good camera. But I've had cameras stolen up there too. But
I've actually had here. I physically watched Daddy. This was about I guess about 3 or 4 years before he passed. I got tickled at him. I come up one day and he said, need you to help me set these game cameras up. I said, well, what do you want? He said, I want you to set the date and the time, because poor old Daddy, bless his heart, he wasn't that great with electronics. I mean, he could fool with a watch and, operate a cell phone, but he couldn't, navigate cell phones like, me or you or Tracy or Trisha, either one does today. He wasn't that shoot, can't think of the word I'm looking for. But anyways, he wasn't that good at it.
It wasn't tech savvy.
Exactly. That was the word I was looking for.
I know, I heard
it. He could basically, read a text message, and it might take him a minute or two, but he could send one. But as far as navigating the internet and this, that, and the other on it, he had no clue. He didn't know what in the world he was doing. So he called me up and he said, why don't you set these trail cams up? And I said, okay. So I set them up. And I physically watched this man go out here in the woods, and the wood line is exactly 8 inches off the driveway. I mean, you step 8 inches off the driveway, you're automatically into the woods. So he goes up there, and I'm watching him, the whole 9-yard bit. He puts his game cameras up. He said, well, we'll see if we got any deer coming through. He said, well, I mean, he spent 38 years in the Federal Forest Service, so he'd been around bears and rattlesnakes and everything else. I mean, thank God we don't have no rattlesnakes here. And I think what he was trying to do, I think somebody told him something about a pretty good sized deer, and he wanted to know if it's coming through. So I came back up. I think it was about 2 days later. He called me up. Get your hind end up here. He said, get up here right now. He said, I'm so mad I can't see straight. And I thought, uh-oh, wonder what I've done now. So I get up here, and he's got stuff scattered all over the back porch, the table out there. It's scattered like covey of quail. I said, Daddy, what did you do? Accidentally forget where your game camera was at? I said, and zero in your gun, put your target on the wrong darn tree. No, confound it. I want you to look at this. The only thing salvageable was the damn SD card.
Mm.
We took one picture, got it to come up on the laptop. It looked exactly like he was looking down a cellar door. The bear had ate both game cameras.
Oh,
I
geez.
mean, ripped them off the tree and
Jeez.
Num, 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 num,
destroyed them.
num, num.
They say
We
that
don't
it's
know.
the alkaline in the batteries. They can smell the alkaline in the batteries and
Mhm.
stuff.
Ew.
Yeah, I mean that one picture, no joke. It looked just exactly like he was looking down a cellar door. That bear was huge. He destroyed both of those. They hadn't been up 72 hours, and they were destroyed. So you know good and well, if a bear can do that, you know good and well, Dogman and Bigfoot's going to have the ability to either destroy them or avoid them because they know
Mhm.
exactly what every leaf in the woods smells like, whatever tree in the woods smells like. They know what's natural and normal, and anything that's out of the ordinary to them, they're either going to investigate it to a slight point, or either they're going to avoid it altogether.
Mhm. Well, I also have another little trick that I wanted to try. When we set up, well, we're going to go in. It's still going to be daylight. We're going to go in probably around 4 o'clock or so on that the day of the night visit, so we can get set up, find us a good location. Um, I have a bunch of those solar motion sensor lights, and I was going to go out so far in the tree line, because I got a general area how far my night vision will see, and I must say that it picks up eye shine amazingly, like farther than you can see on the camera. You can see the eye shine. That
Hmm.
infrared light just lights it up. And we seen that last night because my pit bull was up at the top of our yard by the road, and we were all the way down at the bottom, which is a good, oh, 95 yards or something like that. And like when you pointed it over that way, you couldn't see her, but you could see her eyes for sure.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to go out probably 50 yards, 60 yards, and place those motion sensor lights in different locations. So if we have anything that's circling us, in that
Oh yeah.
area, it's going to light it up in there like the 4th of July.
I think I've got four of those myself,
I
but
love them.
mine has a siren on them. I haven't had a chance to play with them yet, but according to the company that I bought them off of, they've got like a deer repellent or something. It's what that siren is for. It'll
Mm-hmm.
light up. They're solar powered. You stick them up, and George and Tim and I was going to take them on one expedition. We didn't get a chance to go that one particular weekend. I was going to set up a temporary dummy base camp
Mm-hmm.
and have those set up to where if something other came in and it set that off and set that siren off, then we'd know how to hurry up and get back to camp and find out whether we got any tracks or whatever else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I thought about setting those up. I think it's a good idea, and we may actually even catch something that's trying to peek in on us. Come in on us and peek in on us. That we might actually catch something that's actually coming in on us. But
Oh yeah, that'd be a good
that.
idea because if you're in your tent or say for instance you got a small 3-person camper, a camper's going to protect you to a certain degree, but a tent's not going to protect you at all. And if you're like me, when you go to sleep, I die. I don't hear nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely, teetotally nothing. I mean, you could set a keg of dynamite off 65 feet from my bed, and I might raise up, open up one eye, and go, huh? And then cock back out. But it's a good idea to have something like that, surrounding your campsite because as fast as these creatures are, and in some cases As mean and destructive as some of them are, if you're in a tent, you're going to get drug off and you're going to be a human soft shell burrito.
Hmm. And the thing about those are they don't put off an hour signal or anything like that. I mean, they're just
Right.
motion sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not going to be showing up if they see on a different spectrum. It's probably not going to show up on that spectrum. So, I am going to get those. And Randy had a good point of putting the lights facing us. So,
Mm-hmm.
if something comes past that point, and that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. But
And then have
I've
a game
spent.
camera on the inside of that. That way, when it does illuminate it, if something other, as old saying goes, has gotten to the point of no return, and you've got whether you've got it mounted under a picnic table, something other that they wouldn't, really and truly recognize, but still has a good field of view.
Mhm.
Something that comes in there trying to be mean. That's the only nice way I can put it. But odds are you might catch it.
Well, that my camcorder that I have that has the night vision, I have extra hour lights for it that mount up on the top of it, and you can probably see 50 or 60 yards out with it. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
it shows eye shine way off, but my night vision goggles they see over 300 meters. And like last night, like I had the street light cut off in my backyard and everything because it shined in the back windows, bedroom windows, and stuff like that. So I told the power company I wanted it turned off. So my
Right.
backyard is completely black at night. And we went out there and I hit those, I turned on those goggles and I could look plumb across my yard, the neighbor's yard, the other neighbor's yard. There's a mobile home out there that you absolutely could not see. And that thing lit up like it was daylight in that. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna set it on a tripod, and it also records too. So I'll be able to see anything coming that way, in that general area. But I'm gonna keep the IR turned off on it unless I see something come on with those camera lights. I'm not even gonna turn it on.
I
So
don't blame you.
but I have big aspirations for our trip, and I've spent a considerable amount of money on this thing. So uh, I'm hoping we find something. But I mean, if it's any idea of what we're looking forward to is she went in there for just a brief family trip, and she got 4 or 5 what I can see as Sasquatch footprints that she
Mm-hmm.
seen those from driving. They were driving down the road, and she told her husband to pull over. And I have pictures of those. I think I shared those with you, Robert.
You
But
did.
and then
If you can pull them up, show them to Tracy and see what she thinks.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have them on my computer,
I wish I
unfortunately.
would have got a hold of or got a picture of that one because that first one I saw, oh man, there was no denying it. But my husband was driving too fast.
Let me try to pull those
Um,
up.
but it was very distinctive. Like there was no way anybody could say that that was not a Sasquatch footprint.
Okay.
Let me go back into
It
our
was big.
conversations there and all on Facebook,
It
and I
was
can
real
pull them
big.
up.
Well, like what happened with Trisha, 95% of the time on most encounters, you're generally caught off guard. You're not really and truly 110% prepared. And Tracy will verify this in the paranormal world because prior to this, I used to be which I still am, a paranormal investigator. A lot of the stuff, every investigation is not going to be the same. What works on one location is not going to work in the next location. It's I use these comparisons a lot because it's what I know and what I grew up with and what I'm used to. It's just like deer hunting. If you're after a 10-point buck and you go into one certain area that you know for a fact that he's in there, and you've done everything and under God's green heaven, everything's right, everything. I mean, in your mind, you're thinking everything is just dead level perfect. and you're not seeing him anywhere, you have to sit back and change your tactics because evidently, unbeknownst to you, you're doing something other wrong. Or
Mm.
he's just decided, oh, I know you're there, but I'm not coming out to play today.
Hmm.
Because these creatures, whether it be paranormal or whether it be actual flesh and blood, whether it be cryptids or actual animals, like deer or coons or possum or rabbit or whatever game that you're going after, they're not stupid. They didn't get to be where they're at by being idiots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
that's smart.
Cindy there had the thing. Being a snake is an idea. That's for sure. Let's see. I found
yeah,
those pictures. Let
absolutely.
me get them uploaded here.
Yeah, that's the main thing you want to do at all times, whether you're doing paranormal investigations, whether you're, even if you've got the power and the ability to be a demonologist, you want to be able to protect yourself at all times. You don't want to leave yourself open to anything. And a lot of people does some things and they don't think. A lot of people does it just trying to be ignorant, trying to be the next paranormal or cryptid John Wayne. That's where the problem is going to come in, and that's when you're going to set yourself up to you're going to either get hurt, or as like what we like to say down here in the Western North Carolina, you're going to screw around, and the next thing you know, somebody's going to find you on the back of a milk carton.
Yeah. Here's one of those pictures right here. I don't know how
Oh,
good you can
wow.
see it. And I mean, you can clearly see the outline. Now, I measured that vape, and it's 3.5 inches long.
I wasn't
So
off by much when I visually measured that, did I, Mike?
no, you wasn't off that much. And you can kind of see it there. You can see the toe prints too up
Yeah,
above
yeah.
it. And what's funny is that like 3 leaves are in toe prints there up there at the
Yeah.
top.
So like I said, that didn't look like a fresh print. It looked like it's been there for a while.
Yeah, it's been there for a little bit, and there's
But
another
that
indentation.
that first one I saw, it was fresh. It was fresh.
But you can see like the front of her foot there, and you can look, so you can gauge that. What size shoe you
Mhm.
wear? 8.5, Trisha, something like that.
Yeah, about 8.5.
Well, you can gauge that by the front toe of that, how wide that track is. I mean, like the front of her foot is still narrower than the heel of that. See, I have a picture. There's some of those claw marks on that tree.
Yeah, that was the one. It looked like it dug its claws in and was ripping back on the tree. But I thought the other part of the tree was more interesting, like something been scratching at it. And then my friend had pointed out, hey, there's blood on that tree. And if it was the bark of the tree, then there it would be other spots on the tree. No, it was two spots, and you could see where the blood had clotted on the tree.
Hmm.
Let's see. Me.
That's unsettling.
Yeah, when he pointed out, and I went back, and I'm like, man, this isn't making me feel any better about this. Yeah, I've been terrified. And I went there to just kind of make myself feel more comfortable with the environment and see the terrain and what we were going to be hiking on. And I did not get that comfortability. I did not.
You wasn't prepared, was you?
I
And
was
I told
not
her,
prepared for that, man.
Tracy and Rob, I told her, she's like, Dad, I'm in the LBL. I'm like, do not get out of your car. And then she's like, I got out of the car. And she never listened to me anyway.
Oh,
So
you know what? I'm glad I got out of that car because me getting out of that car, all right, I got several pictures of prints, pictures of the tree. Um, I got to feel what it felt like if I felt weird or just off. And that second graveyard I went to definitely made me feel off. Yeah, so you can. I don't know if you can zoom in, Dad, but you can see in this
I can't.
picture. You can see the. I mean, you'd have to really probably get up close to look at it. I'm on my phone, and
Blood?
I.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you look,
yeah,
if you look
Yeah.
right of center, You can see it
Yeah.
there, and then where that's peeled down, you can see the blood on it too. I don't have the blow up copy on my Facebook. She sent it to me through text, but yeah, you can see it there. So
Wow.
I don't know. That's interesting, and that was just that one little quick visit. When you guys get there, y'all gonna have y'all's hands full. Y'all gonna
Yeah.
have your hands
Oh,
full.
I plan on doing a lot of preparing. I've channeled things before, so yeah. My husband's got his Michael medal and all his crosses and this, that, and the other. He's just, we're going to be good.
Yeah, stock up on those goodie powders because those headaches are going to be something else when you hit those graveyards.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt.
to over 270 graveyards in that area.
Wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Trisha.
that not Demumbers, but that Mount Pleasant Cemetery is very close to that Demumbers Bay. And I mean, I've heard several different locations, but I've heard multiple people say that Demumbers Bay was where that family was slaughtered. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, I've heard other people say it was somewhere else, but a lot of people have said it was that Demumbers Bay. That cemetery is very, very close to that area. Very
Okay,
close.
And
okay.
and I've been writing. Okay, that's what I've been doing here the past few nights. I'm on the computer here. I'm doing my homework, and I've been writing, and we're preparing to co-author a book together, me and Trisha. Um, and I actually have about 12 chapters, but I am to the point of the investigation. So I can't wait, and I'm going to go ahead and show the cover. I've already designed the cover for the book, and this is going to be the cover.
Nice,
Wow, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and
nice cover.
we're looking at it right now. I'm looking at a little over 200 and I think it was 236 pages that I have right now, and it's gonna break down everything about it. It starts out, what is a dog man, and I describe what a dog man is, and going in depth about it, and then the legend and the lore, and so on and so forth. Then it goes about the LBL, and it tells the story of the LBL and how it came to be, and the TVA takeover, and everything, and it goes through into reports, and I list several reports on there, and then we go in, we break those down, and then we go and we see what all those reports have in common, similarities, areas, uh, a map overlay of the areas where the reports are, and if you look at that, they're kind of clustered in one area.
Hmm.
If you overlay those on a map, they're in one general area, and it's kind of weird. I mean, all of the if you look at a map of the LBL, there's a lot of camping areas, a lot of recreational areas and stuff like that. But you've got one generalized area that most of those reports come out of. Now there are a few scattered also, but there is, and I don't want to say it on a stream because I don't want everybody that thinks that they're going to find a dog man to go run into that area and they wind up becoming dog food. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
I don't recommend going in there if you don't know what you're doing. I was one of
yeah.
them ones that didn't know what I was doing, and I
Ne-
went.
ne- Neither one of us
You
know
got
what
a
we're doing,
what
but
you
we're
got
going to
is a
figure it
crash
out.
course.
Yeah, I got some good pictures, and it is a beautiful, beautiful park, beautiful park. But
And
there's definitely
and I
something
don't
that.
want to. I really don't want to get in promoting other people's YouTube channels that don't have anything to do with us. But Hellbent
Hmm.
Holler, Hellbent Holler,
Yes.
those two went in there, and they have several videos on the LBL, and they went in and they showed there were tents in there that are shredded all to pieces, just in the middle of the woods. Clothes left, everything is left in that camp, and
Hmm.
and the tents are shredded and everything is scattered. Now, could it have been a bear? It very well could have been. But bears are normally, unless they smell a hint of food or something like that, they don't really mess with it too much. But now there could have been food in there too. We don't know. I mean, we wasn't there, but they found the tents. And
Mhm.
what was weird about the one video that I seen, they found this first tent, and it was kind of like it was pitched right in an old trail, like an old logging road or TVA road or something like that.
Mhm.
And they continued on and coming around, and then they found another tent. Well, after they investigated that, they jumped up into the woods, right off because it was in another trail too, and there was a creek right below it. When they stepped up into the woods, lo and behold, there was a cemetery, and it was just stones in the ground. There were no markings or anything like that. It was an old cemetery.
Hmm.
But as they walked through that cemetery, it brought them right out to where the other tent was. Those tents were set up right in between. There was a cemetery right in between where those two tents were. And I have a theory on the dog man in that area that I think that he is there guarding the dead with all the cemeteries that are in there, and how that area came to be, and the government went in and took this land from these people and paid them pennies on the dollar, and they had no choice. They just booted them out, and all the cemeteries that got submerged under the water when they flooded it, they moved some of the cemeteries. They didn't move them all. They actually have an area there called Cemetery Island, and I seen pictures of it online. That, like, when the water's down on the lakes, when they open up the gates and stuff and the water gets down, you can see the headstones coming up through the water.
Oh, Lord. Oh, that's not good.
That's, I
Mm-mm.
mean, no, you don't disrespect the dead like that.
Right.
And I believe that area is cursed. I honestly
Yeah.
believe that area is cursed, and they've done it to themselves,
Yeah.
and they know it. Um, Patricia, tell her what that lady at the welcome center told you about the closed roads.
Oh, she told me. I asked her. I said, I've been reading online. I said, seems like you guys have a lot of closed roads. And she goes, oh no, there's only like one closed. I drove, me and my family drove from the south side, because coming in the south side, it's like 35 minutes from my house. We drove from the south, the road that they call the Trace, which runs straight through the park. And I've probably seen, I'd say 12 to 15 roads or closed roads. And she told me that if you were caught on those roads, depending on the mood of the park ranger or the law enforcement, because apparently Land Between the Lakes has their own law enforcement, A, fine you, or they could take you right to jail if you're caught on the closed road. She told me there was only one road closed. And my daughter's a witness to that. She was there. But no, I probably seen about 12. There was also one that had and this was up close to the D-Members Bay area. Um, they had a barricade, and there was a law enforcement officer and a park ranger there, not letting anybody in that road, not to hike, not to drive through, nothing. And it was a fairly decent road. Like, it was gravel, but it wasn't like a rough gravel road. Pretty smooth. Um, they weren't letting nobody through it. And now I think it's this weekend until October 2nd, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But there's going to be a lot of roads closed down. Um, I don't know why. I know there's been videos posted on YouTube about how there's helicopters come in and they're firing weapons out of helicopters and stuff, which that's odd to me. And that's all I'm going to say about the whole helicopters thing, because I'm limited as to what I can say about that. Um, but yeah, that, and the woman, she wasn't from Kentucky or Tennessee. She was, I believe she said she was from Colorado, and her husband was prior military, and they moved here, and she was an older woman. Um, and I didn't really get into stories with her because the dog man stories and the mysterious things happening there, they do not like to talk about in that area at all. Now, if you drive up to like Paducah, you'll probably get somebody who'll talk to you about it, but nobody in that area will. We also stopped at a gas station to get gas before we started heading into the park, and I bought me some mints. And I told the lady I wasn't from here, and I was asking, I was like, "Hey, like, how much farther is it to Land Between the Lakes?" And she told me, and she's like, "You gotta drive this Trace. You gotta drive it. It's beautiful." And she looked at my son. She goes, "Here's your mints, buddy." And I was like, "Oh, those aren't for him. They're mine." And I was like, "I just need them for a nervous stomach." I said, "I'm going into LBL, and I've read a lot of the pretty horrific stories about it." And I was like, and she just dangles her head and goes, "Oh," and pops back up and goes, "Well, have a nice day." So she got really weird when I said that. But there was a lot of close
No,
friends. But they told me
we
things
have a
move on.
secret weapon too. I mean, we've been doing our homework. So there's a Facebook group for that, for Land Between the Lakes. There's people on there. They talk about stuff. So Patricia and I just kind of got on there, and we were quiet, and we scoured through this group, taking down people's names and contacting people. And there was one gentleman that stood out, and his Facebook page. He let me see. Let me bring it up here so I don't. Well, let's see. Let me bring his page up real quick.
Has there been talk about an elemental down at LBL?
I haven't. I haven't heard anything
I,
about an
I
elemental.
think there is, but I can't remember who mentioned it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Okay, now I got his. I don't know why I can't operate Facebook tonight. Um, I thought it said on his profile he'd been, but anyways, he's been exploring the Land Between the Lakes since like the early 2000s, early mid 2000s, and he was talking about, he had some stories. He goes in there with his dog. He has German Shepherd, and he had warned people. He says, if you go into the Land Between the Lakes, you need to take your dog. Um, you need to take your dog. So I don't know if there's something going on. If there's something between the dog and the dog man itself or something. I mean, maybe the dog wards it off, but he's had a lot of sightings and stuff. And we're going to interview him on the 5th. And that's going to be pretty interesting. And we'll have the video. We'll have the video on YouTube and everything. So I'm going to try to break it up into 3 or 4 videos because we're going to have a lot of footage and stuff. So, but from what he was telling, he was telling me, he's got a lot of information. And I don't think that anyone that I have seen on YouTube or online, now I've searched his name, and I don't think anyone else has talked to him. So this should be pretty interesting. I can't wait.
He seems pretty desperate to get his stories out there. He really did. It's like nobody would listen to him. And when I read it, I told him, I said, "Hey," I was like, "I really think, we should try to talk to this guy." And he said, "Well, tag me in it." So I tagged him. And this guy had been like commenting on other people's comments and stuff. Like, I have stories, I'd like to find a big organization to get these stories out. And everybody just kind of over their head didn't give him the chance. So,
Robert, you should talk to him.
we're very fortunate that he's going to allow us to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. I'm gonna try, once we do our interview with him and stuff while I'm there. I'm gonna try to get him to come onto the podcast, if he will. He didn't. I asked him. He didn't have a problem. I told him. I said, look. I said, we can hide your face. We can disguise your voice. Anything you need us to do, And I mean, I'm capable of doing that. Um, and he's like, no, he's like, that's fine. He says, I don't care if anybody sees my face. So, which is a good thing. But I mean, with someone that has that much experience of that area and stuff like that, I think it'll be pretty good. I mean, he's in there, he's on foot,
Yeah.
and he's doing a lot of footwork in there, and he knows something's going on. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I think so. Anyways, I mean,
I
we
think
could
a
get
lot of the people that that gets ignored, and everybody basically writes them off as being nuts, lunatic. They're cornbread's not done quite in the middle, and first one thing
there.
another. To me, those are the people, unless they've been publicly known to tell tall tales and first one thing another and blow things plumb out of proportion. Unless they're that type of person, these other people that's being ignored and people wrote them off as, oh, that's old crazy Gary out there in the woods. He's he just he's crazy. He lives by himself. He ain't got nothing else better to do. To me, those are the people that you need to be talking to, and the people you need to be paying attention, because they see things in a different perspective that other people do not see. They pay attention to things that other people basically ignore. That's just like George and Tim and I. We've been asked this question a dozen times at several different conventions and festivals and first one thing and other. Well, we go hiking in the woods and this, that, and the other all the time. Why don't we see the things that you do? Well, it's a simple answer. You're not looking. You're paying attention. When most people, when they go out in the woods, they're basically, they're watching squirrels, they're watching birds, they're taking in the awe of nature itself. Nature's not always black and white, and Tracy will back me up on this.
Yeah.
Some people may see something other a certain way, and other people will start, they'll get that little dab of a nagging feeling, kind of like, good and well there's nobody around you. For I've had this to happen and me being
Hmm.
deer hunting sitting on the ground. And I've even
Hmm.
had it happen sitting in a tree, knowing full good and well there's nobody around you in a 3 mile radius. There's not a hunter nowhere around. There's not a house. There's not a homeless camp. There's nothing of the sort. And you get that bone chilling feeling deep down in the pit of your stomach. You're being
Hmm.
watched. And you're sitting there
Hmm.
going, wait just a minute, what's going on? That's when your other senses kicks in and you go to paying
Hmm.
attention to what's going on around you. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't do that. That's how come a lot of them, you'll get some of them that'll wind up, in a rattlesnake den out. And then they're like, well, I didn't know it was there. You mean you didn't smell the snake? Because each animal gives off a certain odor. That's just like with copperheads. You go smelling cucumbers, you better go to backing up because you're fixing to get on one. Rattlesnakes has a odd, unusual odor to them. I can't really truly explain it. A lot of times they will start rattling that tail and what we call singing before they strike. Some of them won't. But if you watch your environment and watch what's going on, you're going to notice and see things that other people's not going to, and that's where a lot of people they miss a lot of things, because we did a test over in Franklin back, I think it was last year if I'm not bad fool. Tim is about he's about my height. He's about 6'1". He weighs probably 260 pounds. He's not a obese fella. He's just a big burly country boy is all he is. And I told Tim, I said, here's another question we've been asked. I said, let's try this out. So probably a 14-inch in diameter tree. I put Tim, and Tim usually wears hunter orange all the time. That's his favorite color. We stuck him behind the tree. I said, okay. I said, turn shoulder first. I said, parallel with the tree. At 25 feet, you couldn't see him. At 15 feet, you couldn't see him. Okay, we done George the same way. George is probably around about the same height, probably same weight as Tim, give or take. We done Tim. I mean, we done George the same way. You couldn't see him, but when he turned with his shoulders, you know, the tree here, the shoulders here, and the shoulders there on each side, you could see. So with that, how many times has anybody been in the woods and Bigfoot be standing there or Dogman either one within 15 to 20 feet, even as much, as 8 or 10 yards, if they stand still and don't move, you're going to walk right by them, not have a confounded clue what's going on. In my opinion, I think that stench that they give off, they can turn that off and on just like a skunk.
Mm.
If they want you out of the area or to give you a warning that A, you're getting too close to the breeding area, B, you're getting too close to the rest of the clan, or C, you're interfering in with their hunting, they're going to give you a warning. Stench probably at first, rock throwing by second, being growled at third, and last resort, if you're still being ignorant and stupid and not paying attention and going by the warning signs, yeah, you may get a visual, but it may be a visual that you absolutely don't want to see. It's going to be completely, totally life changing. And in some cases, again, I use a lot of analogies down here in the South, but it holds true anywhere in the world. You're going to screw around, and the groundhogs is going to bring you your mail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we call that a FAFO, FAFO.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was trying to be a little bit nicer than that, but
Oh, I'm not like Trisha. Your daughter's stomach condition is going to be fine.
Oh,
Whatever is going on with her, it's going to be just fine. Does that
no.
make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've been battling that for 3 years now. Just now finding out what's going
Okay.
on.
Okay. And I had another message, and I don't know if this is going to make sense to you or not. Um, you don't have to send God a text message because He's already beside you, and He's already showing you what your path is supposed to be, and He wants to know, are you okay? I'm not saying He's telling me that, but that was, I guess, from a guardian angel or something like that.
That sounds like something my grandfather or my grandmother would
Okay.
say.
Okay.
It does. And that makes a lot of
Okay.
sense here lately. I've been really on a journey with my faith here lately. So that makes a lot of sense.
You'll be okay. You've come through the worst storm,
That's
but
that's
definitely,
really that's
oh
really
yeah.
weird that you'd say something about her daughter's stomach. So that's been a big thing this past couple years.
But
and
like I
we've
said,
also
Yeah,
it
it's
feels sometimes
been.
like I have Tourette's. No harm to people who have Tourette's because I just spurt things out. Sometimes they make sense,
Oh
sometimes they
no,
don't.
I'm loving it. You tell me everything. I
Yeah.
love this. And actually, this is bringing um a positiveness to
Good.
me right now because I've been just so struggling with a lot. Um, so this is what I need to
Okay.
hear.
We're happy to help.
Yeah. They
is she
just
allergic?
diagnosed
Is
her
she
with the H.
allergic to milk?
pylori.
Hmm?
Sorry, Robert. What was that?
Is she allergic to cow milk or something?
No, they just diagnosed her with that H. pylori.
Oh,
So
I was going to
Yeah.
mention that if she was, couldn't drink milk or eat cereal, or something along those lines, if you get you two dairy goats and give her raw dairy milk from a goat, that will help settle her stomach.
hmm hmm
Because I've got 25 goats
Yeah,
over there at the barn, And I'm honest. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't believe in it, and a lot of people, you know, they'll turn their nose up at it. But there, when I was growing up as a kid, I could eat cereal, drink milk, do about anything I wanted to. Well, one particular morning, and this was after I was already married the first go around, got up one morning and for 3 days straight in a row, I got me a bowl of cereal. I couldn't eat it. It was about 15, 20 minutes after that milk hit my stomach. I was laying in the floor, felt like you was cutting me in two from the inside out with a dull hacksaw blade. Well,
Wow.
at first I thought the milk was bad. I kept checking the date on it and everything. And I finally went to the doctor, and the doctor said, I don't know what's happened. He said, it's like flicking the switch. You can't drink cow milk no more. Now, here's where the stupid part comes in. Ice cream and cheese, like Kraft or the Walmart brand cheese, I can eat that till it's coming out my ears. Does not bother me. But you take Seal Test, Pet, Mayfield, or any other kind of manufactured cow milk on the shelf, you pour me up about that much in a glass and let me drink it for the next 16 hours. I'm flat on my back in the floor. I'm dying. It's cutting me
Wow.
in two. But I can go over here to the barn. This is no joke. I can go over here to the barn. I can put one of those goats up on the bench, milk her out, strain it, let it get just as cold as it can possibly get in the refrigerator. Pour it over a bowl of cereal. I can sit there and eat that cereal till it's running out my ears and never have an ounce of problem with it. That's the
Wow.
reason why I was asking, you know, if your daughter's stomach. Now, please do me one favor. This is one thing that I always ask everybody. If you've never had goat milk, never had it, do not, please, for the love of God Almighty above, please do not do this. Do not go to Walmart. Do not go to Aldi. Do not go to Food Line. Do not go to Food City. Do not go to any grocery store and get the goat milk off the shelf. 9 times out of 10, that goat milk is mixed in with, oh shoot, a Toggenburg breed of goat. Now, Toggenburg goat milk is nasty. It stinks to high heaven. I'm convinced that's what they use make that old stinky Limburger cheese out of. It'll make you or break you. If you drink it and you go, oh dear God, I can't stomach that. If somebody's got Alpines, La Manche, Sanins, or you know anything, any other breed of goat, it will turn you against it so bad you won't even think about trying to chase somebody else's. If you want to try goat milk, go to an actual goat farm and get the milk from them. Don't buy it in the grocery store because I'm not joking. That stuff is horrible. It's horrid. It's nasty. It will turn you against it in a heartbeat. And that pasteurized goat milk. Mm.
Mm. Yeah, I got
If you get sick on it, everything you've eaten for the past 6 months will come up.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
bought
it's horrendous.
I bought me a new box of plaster of Paris too. So 4 pound
Sweet.
box. We gonna get us some footprints if we find some. So
One thing that you should take with you when you're out looking around, especially for paranormal stuff, I don't know what your grocery store sell or don't sell down there, but have y'all ever heard of Altoids, the little
yeah.
mint?
Hmm.
Oh
Get
yeah.
get the
Yeah.
original the peppermint. They're like too strong. And if you start to
Hmm.
feel yourself getting mad and edgy for no reason, pop one in there, and that'll snap you right out of it.
This is the same mints that I had the day that I was there.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
told
Okay,
y'all she
there you
knows her
go.
stuff.
breakers too.
I,
Okay,
I mean, they're
okay.
not out. They're
He
not
just want.
Altoids, but
It
they're
doesn't have to be
close.
the Altoids. He just wants something that's going to give like a real strong minty thing, just to snap your senses back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had like four of these in my mouth that
Okay.
day. This is the same container. I keep it
But
with
if you
me.
get into a
So
situation that's going to be turning a little dab on dangerous end, whether it be Bigfoot or Dogman. Keep this in your hip pocket at all times, and in case of emergency, throw it.
Oh, beef jerky? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm taking my son-in-law, and I plan on if something gets after me, I'm going to trip him. So
Does that mean I can take my ex-mom-in-law with me and use her for bait?
that's yeah, he's bait. He's bait. He's bait because you just don't know what's in there. The predator's unknown, you know. So
Oh, I know.
Oh, he's watching this right now, so I could probably.
Oh,
he's like,
Let me see if I can hear
that
him
like
say.
comment
Trisha,
I
your
just made
dad's
about
trying to
my
kill me.
ex-mother-in-law, I guarantee I'll get an instant phone
Yeah.
call in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting trip for us, and you know, like I said a while ago, I honestly feel that the key to the dog man is the cemeteries. Um, and I want to do a lot of focus on those cemetery areas. I was looking on the map, and there's one road that cuts across. There's a main road that goes up through, and then there's a road that cuts across to the right. And I don't remember how many cemeteries I counted on that road that was on that map. And not all the cemeteries are on the maps, but that one road had close to like 18 cemeteries
Wow.
on,
Wow.
and they were just all over the place there. So, and that takes you up towards the numbers. And so I want to get in there and check some of those out. And there's a couple of those cemeteries that there have been reports made on. So, and you know what they say, for every one report, there's probably, 30, 40 other reports that didn't get reported.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of them. I've got, I have to look through that thing. I got 60 some reports right now that have been filed in there. So you do the math on
Well,
that.
here's something other else to think about too. Is there any Native American tribes in the area that's around the LBL? Because
Yes.
if they are,
Yes,
uh,
Shawnee
if they
tribe.
are, try to get the medicine men to talk to you. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It depends. And maybe some of the other members of the tribe, they may be able to tell you something other or give you, a warning to watch out for. It's always good to try to branch out and figure out. You can basically tell when somebody will talk to you, and sometimes, if you start getting the side eye, cold shoulder treatment, they've been sworn to secrecy. They're not going to say nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I mean, yeah, a lot of the stuff, and it's not only the land between the lakes. Some of the other dogman reports throughout the country, up in Wisconsin, Michigan, and in
Hmm.
places like that, there's a lot of dogman reports. Indiana, up in the northern part of the United States, a lot of dogman reports up in there, and a lot of those you can tie back to a cemetery being close to where it was seen at, and
Right.
and so the a lot of oh, my mind went blank for a second. A lot of in culture, throughout history, there's been a lot of representations of the dog man. You even look
Hmm.
at the Egyptians; they had a god Anubis and everything,
Hmm.
and everything that he's represented with a dog like or jackal, face, and most of your Native American tribes, they have reports that in their culture and their beliefs and stuff of the dog man, skinwalkers,
Hmm.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But a lot of people, I seen Randy said that the cemeteries are dog man and werewolf staging places and stuff. A lot of people get dog men um, mixed up with werewolves, and there's a difference. There's a difference. Like a werewolf, a dog man is always a dog man, basically.
Hmm.
A werewolf, there's a physical change that starts out as a human being that physically changes into a werewolf. And to my understanding, now I've never seen either, um, but to my understanding that there is different reported differences in how they look and stuff. A dog man is not as tall as Bigfoot. Dogman's been reported around 5.5, 6.5 foot tall, 7 foot in some instances. And,
Right.
Werewolves are supposedly to be larger creatures and everything. Most dogmen are being reported as, fit. You can see their muscle tone and six pack abs and stuff like Arnold Schwarzenegger with with a dog head. But
Mm-hmm.
the werewolves, not a lot of people report on like that type of muscle tone and stuff like that they see them. There's a lot of differences and everything, which is going to be in my book too. I cover on a lot of that, but um, it's an interesting topic. And I have to say, the first time that I went on NCI's show on Channel 12, we were talking on there, and I don't know if it was actually on the show or if it was backstage after the show. Um, I said that one of my biggest fears, I can handle Sasquatch. Yeah, I might get scared, if I see one, but I know that most Sasquatches are good. And from what all the reports, um, from all the reports and stuff like that of the dog men and what they've been represented as, I could say that most of the dog men are evil. They're up. If you see a dog man, you better get the hell out of there because something's about to go down. I mean, the report. Look, the report of 4 people getting killed in 1982 in the LBL.
Mm-hmm.
2 adults and 2 children, and it was reported. Somebody is blowing up my Facebook. Oh, it's Mr. Millwood. I don't.
Oh,
Yeah, I just got a message too. He
Yeah,
wants
yeah.
us to listen to something.
He's got a video there. I'm not going
Hmm.
to play it. We'll look at it. I'll look at it afterwards. But um, what was I talking on? I seen that video, and I'm like, that just hit my brain.
We're talking about what a werewolf looks like versus a dog man, and
Oh yeah,
dog man doesn't. Yeah.
yeah. It's just been different reports, and they're scattered and stuff. But it's amazing what you can find online now. You used to be back before pre-internet days and stuff like that. People would have to get on a plane, bus, or train and go into these areas and knock on doors and ask around and stuff like that. But there's so much information online now
Mm.
and everything. But if I can, Robert, get into one of those local tribes there, the Shawnee,
mm-hmm.
and speak to someone in their tribe about what their beliefs is on the dog man and stuff like that. I would like to.
Oh yeah.
I, I would
That'd be
really.
very interesting to find out what they've got to say, what they believe, and
Yeah.
how they protect themselves from that creature. Because I mean, I'm like you, Bigfoot. Yeah, it tickles me to death to see one, and I want to see more of them. But as far as Dogman goes, I would like to see one myself, but not nose to nose, face to face
Absolutely not.
encounter. Those devils are unpredictable. I mean, from the reports that I've read, and I mean, I know people's going to hear everything under God's green heaven. You got to take everything with a grain of salt, and try to patternize what's true and what's not.
Right.
But from the reports and everything that I've heard on the Dogman and what I've read on, those things have a more critical thinking than Bigfoot does. That's what makes them the apex predator. They are highly unpredictable. In my opinion, now other people might disagree. I don't trust them. Seriously, I do not trust them. It's just a nagging feeling that I get That's just like when we found that dogman track over in East Tennessee, me and George and Harley, that the water was still coming into the track. We couldn't have been over 20 minutes behind it.
Yeah.
So we sort of felt he's leading us off from something other and possibly leading us into a trap. So we sort of backed off. We couldn't cast it because the weather was too nasty. Tried to take pictures of it. So much water that was in the track, the glare off the camera, flat out was not doing it justice. I think we took 25 pictures because the only thing we had was cell phones, and I mean we had iPhones, we had Android phones as well, and they all took excellent pictures, but it was so distorted, and you had so much glare, and the weather, you just couldn't do nothing with it. The only thing you had to do is chalk it up as a personal experience. You couldn't chalk it up as, even though you physically saw it, you couldn't chalk it up as, cold hard evidence. I don't trust those things. Seriously, I do not trust a dog man as far as I can throw one. They're unpredictable. They kill at will. They don't they don't do it out of, they don't kill for survival. They do it for meanness.
Yeah. Trisha, I just sent you some pictures. Don't worry about those. I was sending them to you to get them off my phone so I could put them on here. Um,
Well,
so
good
I
thing
have
I
all
never
that stuff
saying on
saved
do
on
not
there.
disturb because I didn't get them yet.
Okay. Let's see here. I gotta save them to my computer
You
real
guys
quick.
should take some holy water with you too. Don't buy it at a metaphysical store. You don't know what the hell's in the bottle, even though it says holy water. Just get yourself a little plastic container, a little squeeze bottle. Take it to a church or something like that. Have it blessed there, or if they have one of those, I think the Catholics have a lot to where the looks like a big bird bath. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I have no idea what this thing's called. And
Yeah,
there's water.
I
You
know
know
what
what
you're
I
That's what
mean?
it
talking
looks
about.
like to me
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic, so I don't know what it is. But
Well, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that is Catholic. That's the only thing I
yeah,
could compare it to. But and
yeah,
when you're out and about, I mean, not only will the mints help, but if you notice, say you're out with your son and you notice he starts acting like not himself, you can just put a little cross. And if you're not comfortable putting a little cross up there, just a little dot on the third eye, because that's normally where these things try to go in from. So
yeah.
Y'all
that
bear
can't
with
hurt.
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm
show you
probably
some.
gonna anoint my house too as well.
Yeah, yeah. Salt the four
Um,
corners of your house in each room.
mhm.
And you say what can come into the house, what cannot come into the house. If something needs to leave, you do be firm.
So, Robert, you was talking about that track with all the water in it.
Hmm.
This right here was taken at the LBL.
No,
Wow.
Whatever that was heavy.
That was a big critter.
oh wow,
See, that's what
Hmm.
that first print I was going to take a picture of, and my husband drove by real fast. It looked just like that, and had water in it too, and it
Look at
looked
the
fresh.
toes in that. I mean, look
that's
at the toes in
amazing.
those. And those were taken. I got those off of that group. So allegedly those were taken in the LBL. And I can believe it because what Trisha found, the footprints that she
Right.
found and stuff like that. And so and look at the depth in those footprints.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Now the thing about those is what I take from those. You look at the ground, how the ground is cracked around that footprint there,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and the depth of it. If somebody was trying to fake that footprint, well, they'd have had to been one heavy person to have stepped in that and faked the footprint like that.
Oh yeah.
One heavy person.
You can tell
But
that a footprint. It's been there for a while because it already had little green sprouts of some kind of plant coming up. So it
yeah,
wasn't
Hmm.
yeah,
something that somebody just ran out and did and left.
right, right. So I don't know. Speaking of heavy, You know, I had we had a picture that Trisha took up in West Virginia from Grandview State Park. And Tracy, were you on that show when I showed that picture of that Sasquatch and we were talking about it?
I honestly, I don't remember. That
Uh,
doesn't mean anything, though.
let me see if I can find it here real quick. Cause
That was an impressive picture.
oh, I do have it on my computer. Hold on one second. I do have it. I should have been prepared for this, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Robert, I was just thinking, your picture of your Sasquatch looks like a politician.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
exactly what I was thinking last weekend, and I just didn't say
Well, he knows
to
I'll
be quite
say it.
honest, that is a Hobby Lobby special.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting some more vinyl for some of my stickers, and I just happened to come around the corner. I thought,
And there he was.
that's not what I think I'm seeing, is it? I looked a little bit closer. I said, well, lo and behold, I said, I've got to have that.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I had that analyzed.
Okay.
Let me see here. I know there's a way to. Yeah, give me a second. Uh, let me open up this file real quick. Uh oh. Uh oh. My mouse. Bear with me. Y'all go ahead and talk for a second. I gotta get my mouse hooked up. You would think I would
Okay.
have been prepared for
A
this.
man and his mouse.
Yeah, a man and his mouse were soon parted. Um,
I don't feel bad if I don't have mine right here. I can't navigate my computer for crap.
yeah,
I uses that little old ThinkPad down there at the bottom. I've tried
yeah.
for years to manipulate that thing and use that, and it's like a epileptic at a dadgum foot race. I can't do nothing.
Well, mine is this wireless gaming mouse, and I forget to charge this thing because
Hmm.
you can go 2 months without charging this mouse. It's the best damn mouse. It only costs like $20, and you can go for like 2 months without having to charge it. And then this out of the blue, it's dead.
Hmm.
Hmm.
No warning, no nothing.
Nope.
That's what this one right here is. It it's you have to stick a cord in right there on the front, little green light. Well, it'll turn red here, and then when it's charged up, it'll turn back green. But I love it.
And of course, I can't read freaking switch on the bottom of it.
You didn't go to the same school I did you?
No, no. Let's see. I got to turn it off, let it set. But anyways, I can talk about that picture. Um, had it analyzed, came back that it used those railroad tracks as a gauge because there's specific measurements for railroad tracks. Okay, like the ties are 18 inches apart. The ties are like 9.5 inches wide. Okay, then the rails are so far apart. I mean, it's a standard for the railroad, and they have machines that come in and they set all that stuff, so everything's usually exact, you know.
Hmm.
But from the from what? There we go. I got my mouse back now. Um, from what it said, that it was estimated to be 4 foot 2 inches wide. Now, 4 foot 2 inches, that's wide. Um, roughly between 7 foot 6 and 9 foot tall. It figured an average of 8 foot 4. Um, and weighed anywhere from 6 to 900 pounds. And I actually have that. I actually have that thing here. Let me find it.
That's basically the same size as a sheet of plywood.
Yeah, yeah.
A
And
4
so
by 8 sheet of plywood.
you stand a sheet of plywood up. That's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh no, that's the case file. Let's see. Hold on, that's the case file on that.
I feel like as much as we talk about this picture, you should have it on a thumbnail on your main screen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I talk about it because it's pretty significant.
That's
Yeah, I
impressive to
went through
me.
hell with that picture.
And
Hey, y'all, I have to excuse myself for a minute. How do I do that on here?
if you go down to the little camera icon, you can click that and it'll disable your camera. The same thing for your microphone. And maybe when you come back, I'll have this report. I have so much stuff on here. Let's see.
Camera.
There you go.
Oh, your
Oh, you
camera come
turned it
back
back
on,
on.
Tracy. It'll be all right.
Bless her heart. It's okay.
Yeah, it'll be just fine. Where the hell did I put that at?
But those tracks that you showed there a while ago,
Oh, aren't those awesome?
there's a constant question that's it don't make no difference what researcher it is, who, what group, or anything else. Everybody says, well, why do you always find just one in a certain place, and you hardly ever find a trackway? My opinion, they know how to step in the woods, because if you take Geronimo for example, Geronimo snuck in to the military camps. He stole clothes. He stole horses. He stole ammo. He stole food. And they never did have no footprints on how he got in.
No. Let's
So
see.
you know good and well if the Native Americans know how to step and shift their weight, these cryptids knows how to do the same darn thing. And every great now and then they will make a mistake and either step too hard, or if they're making, jumping from one log to the next, they're going to make a mistake and hit the ground every great now and then.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that just makes common sense to me. And, other people's like, well, just one print, that's a hoax. No, not necessarily.
That's correct.
I've even seen big bucks do it.
Oh, I didn't touch a button. I'm sorry. You just saw me do this to my son.
Well, your camera went off and then it came back on. It's like something turned it back on as soon it came on after you stood up.
Ha! I didn't touch anything. I got my son here as a witness.
Yeah, she didn't touch shit. Stuff.
Well, it's okay. This is set to have cursing and alcohol and tobacco and all that stuff in it. So we're in good shape.
So we don't have to worry about the ATF.
No, no, no. Y'all don't flash anything like that. No boomsticks. They will shut us down. They
Just the
will
only
shut
thing
us.
we got to worry about is MIBs, right?
No. Well, yeah, we probably got to worry about them. I mean,
Don't tell me that, because I'm kind of living in their area right now. So
I'm
Trisha,
trying to
don't
get
feel
to
bad.
that.
I've done had 3 visitations by the MIBs, and I don't have anything to hide. I don't care what they know. They know more than I do, and I'm not worried about it. If they want to do something other, technically speaking, there's not a thing on the face of God's green earth nobody can do to stop them, because once you report it, you're going to be labeled as a nitwit, and they're going to turn their back on you and go, we don't know what they're talking about. You better take that into the nut house. He's went crazy.
yeah.
So,
I got labeled that the day I took that picture in Grandview. So I've kind of come to terms with it. It is what it
well, yeah, I
is.
mean, if people wants to sit and make fun of me all the time, that's fine. I don't care. They want to prove me wrong. They're going to have to stop being a armchair researcher go out into the woods and prove me wrong.
So this
Because
is what
go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're
Um,
fine.
it says here that let's see. Using a railroad track gauge 4 feet by 8.5 inches as a reference point, Webb's analysis determined that the figure's seated height was just over 4 feet uh, in deep squat. Primate-like posture, applying a conservative model, but the figure's estimated standing height is somewhere between 7'6" and 9 feet. Its head was rounded, its shoulders impossibly broad. It sat like a gorilla at rest, but with a stillness that felt watchful. Uh, it, it said the analysis ruled out any conventional explanation. No black bear sets like that. No human matches that bulk. No gorillas live in West Virginia. And yet, there's the outcome, the picture, says it resembling a primate-like seated posture using standard railroad gauge, and it gives the formula for it that I can't even read. Using the model, roughly twice as high as a seated, because it's normally split mid ways. That 7'6", 9 foot tall, with a central value near 8'4". So somewhere
That
around.
sounds about right.
It says weight estimated to be 600 to 900 pounds. Not a native species. No gorillas or great apes exist in West Virginia. Not consistent with black bear. Black bears do not sit in this upright, forward slope, gorilla-like posture. Not consistent with human. The bulk, posture, and location make the human presence unlikely. This is what gets me. Most consistent interpretation: a large primate-like figure matching historical descriptions of the Appalachian Sasquatch. And that's
Well,
what
that statement right there alone tells you that AI already knows the truth, even
yeah.
though AI is programmed by other humans, because it can't program it. In the beginning stages, it couldn't program itself. Somebody had to teach it how to do that.
Right.
So, with that being said, and the government knowledge that we know that they have, because we know good and well they've got certain X number of Bigfoot in their possession, Dogman as well. So with that last statement right there at the end, anybody with two brain cells can put two and two together and come up with four, which means right there the proof is there. Only thing people has to do is take off the rose-colored glasses and look.
Yeah. I mean, the picture itself. I mean, what else could you make it out to be? You can't make it out to be a bear. That's for
No,
sure.
and
That's
it's certainly not a shadow.
That is bigger than the largest bear species is a polar bear, and that's larger than any polar bear. I mean, any reported polar bear. And there's no polar bears in West Virginia either.
No.
Black bears don't get that big.
The biggest I've ever heard tell of a black bear, and that was around here, was right around 600 pounds. And that was a monster. Other than that, normally black bears usually between, as far as what we call legal kill during bear season, you're probably looking at anywhere between 150 to 300 and a quarter.
Yeah.
So with something other that size And with the dimensions and everything that creature possesses, it's not a shadow, it's not a bear, it's not some idiot out there in the woods in a suit trying to hoax something or other. Because technically speaking, if that was, be the case, somebody's out there in the woods trying to do that is the most ignorant, stupid thing that anybody could possibly do because you're asking for trouble. And because you're going to have somebody that's not, exactly elevator don't go quite to the top floor, that's going to let fame and fortune go to their head. And then next thing you know, you've got Johnny in a jump up ghillie suit laying on a slab and they pull the top off. Well, guess what, Johnny? You just committed homicide, buddy. You just killed somebody.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the most ignorant thing in the world to do. So, taking all the dimensions and everything else, what other conclusion do you have?
Right. And the thing about it is, Robert, when Trisha took that photo, she posted it on her social media. She posted it
Hmm.
on the BFRO page, and all she got was criticism from people. And
Oh,
and
naturally you're going to get that.
and you find these groups on Facebook. You find these groups on Facebook, Bigfoot believers, and
Hmm.
all. I mean, I don't know how many of those there are, but you get on there, and like every time someone posts something that looks very convincing,
Hmm.
you get people. It was probably swamp gas bouncing off of the moon into the northern lights and stuff like that. It's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and the people
Well,
tell you you're crazy, and um, probably a lot of people that watch these videos here tonight might think that we're crazy. But I can tell you this. I can tell you this, and we'll get ready to close. If you think we're crazy, uh, what do you think that you are when you see it?
exactly.
When you see it, when you hear that noise of the leaves behind you, and you look around behind you, and there's nothing there.
Hmm.
When you see that shadow pass in front of your peripheral vision, you look and you don't see it anymore.
Right.
Are you crazy too? I mean, so there are so many sightings. If you go online and you search for the map where they plot every sighting in the United States, to be honest, it looks like the Republican electoral map.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now a lot of people, they'll throw fun and this, that, and the other, and everything. But here's something other that anybody, whether you're an armchair researcher, an actual researcher, you're a knower or a part-time believer or a complete skeptic. Here's four maps that you can lay down on top of one another. They will darn near overlap. They might be this much variation on the map itself. Take the missing 411 map, lay it down. Take the Bigfoot and Dogman sighting map, where people's recorded their encounters. Lay that map down. Also, take the map of the national parks. Lay that one down. Okay. The underground cave systems that are already recorded. Take all four of those maps, lay them down on top of one another. They might be just a tad bit of variation, but if you've got that much of an overlap, and it's just about a complete teetotal fingerprint, just like you take both hands and put them up like this right here, or any way you want to put them, and you've got it overlapped with very little variation. Who in their logical right mind can actually say, oh, well, it's all a hoax, it's all BS, it's a bunch of nonsense, you got a gang of yahoos out here just chasing their tail, chasing shadows, and everything else. You cannot stand there and look at that kind of evidence and look at that kind of logic and stand back and say it's all BS. Take the Patterson film, for example. Yeah, there have been plenty of arrows shot into that film. There's been a lot of criticism shot into that film. Okay, if it's all a bunch of horse hockey and everything else, where's the suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is the suit? I want somebody to come forth and say, I've got the actual suit that proves that every bit of this is a bunch of nonsense. Okay, you go back further in history for 2,000 years. You take all the cave drawings, all the petroglyphs, all the hieroglyphs, everything that ancient man has recorded of this creature. If every bit of this was nothing but a bunch of nonsense and hogwash, don't you think in 2,000 years somebody would have blown that out of the water and said, okay, we debunked it, party's over, find something other else to put to have as a hobby? Nobody's done it yet. Nobody.
No, no. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody for being on tonight. We've kind of run out of time. We've been going for 2 hours. It
Oh,
doesn't take
wow.
long. It doesn't take long. My wife is like, because I put everybody on alert when I go streaming because I'm in my basement and like the kitchen is right above me and the floor. We're in an old house, so the floors are squeaky. And I'm like, if you need something, you better go in there by 8 o'clock and get it because 9 o'clock nobody's allowed in the kitchen. And like everybody's starving to death at this point, probably. And I don't let them play their game systems and stuff like that because, I don't want it to hurt my bandwidth and everything. So 2 hours is about all that I've got. And so I just want to thank everybody for coming on, everybody in the chat that participated and everybody watching the video. You're the reason that we do this. And as they said back in the early 90s with the X-Files series, the truth is out there.
Yes, it is.
Somebody's going to find it. But until next week, thanks for watching.